Wow, it has been a month since I've worked on this or put a video up, but the trough is almost ready. Well, I guess it's ready to start planting in. So let's take a look at it and I'll tell you what's been going on. So you'll know how I am setting this up and it's going to be fabulous. Look at the nutrition in there for my plants. So here is the trough and here is how it's going to sit. It's pretty much filled. So this is my plans and it's going to cost me probably, well, it's going to be under 20, possibly under 10 to fill this and start growing. I've got the hose there now set up. I can move this for a minute to show you. See how that's coming through the hole? So the water is going to be directed there. I might still plant a walking onion or something in front of it as water comes out, but I've got 2 walking onions here. Now the reason I've got that here is so I don't trip on the hose, and I might shorten it soon. But this way I can take the hose and push it back and forth in case it gets blocked. So this is going really good. This just needs to be filled. Now I do have over here, I have not started to grow in here. What a mess. But look at that. See all the eggshells? This has been filled off and on with debris from the garden, which is wonderful. My compost, look, there's still a broken eggshell there. I'm going to take all this, I'm going to shovel up a lot of it, and I'm going to put that in here. And then on the top, when I start to plant, I'm going to get a couple different types of 2 systems in there. I'll probably put a pitcher. I'm probably going to put a stake, and I'll show you how we're going to put stakes in here, and my irrigation tubing. There's going to be so many different methods in here that you should be able to find something that will work for you. So let's get this topped up. That will be the first thing, and then we'll start to plant. Is this cool? So what I did is start collecting soil from totes that are, well, not growing right now. And I started with that great big thing. Gary found that in the trash. It's some sort of cabinet, I think. And, well, it was in the trash. We laid it down, and I'm going to use it for a planter. All that soil in there is just, look at this, I get excited every time I find worms. I have just been throwing things in there all year because I wasn't planting in there and everything's breaking down. I mean, this is the perfect soil. It's Mother Nature soil, and yes, we helped it with kitchen scraps, but that's okay. It all goes back to the earth, and that is what makes everything so great. A couple of you have asked me, well, what about throwing seeds in there? You're taking seed heads off of plants and throwing it in there. What if it grows? Well, what if it grows? I usually put those towards the bottom, but if some of them make it to the top, like sometimes squash can, do you know a squash seed can find its way up 8 inches and more sometimes? You pull it out. It's a seedling. It's nothing big. It's not going to be hard to pull out. It's not a tree. So I use everything. And yeah, the soil was hard. I hadn't watered it. Shame on me. I tell you to keep it watered. But it doesn't matter. You know, I'll tell you something. That was a lot of work. And this is why I love totes. This is just too much to dig out. I can't imagine having these kind of containers all over and then having to empty them out. That would be a nightmare. But, you know, I have a few of them. That would be fine. So I'm trying with this, and you're going to watch me grow in this, and I think we'll all learn as we go. This should be fun. Okay, now I'm probably going to put a little bit of topsoil on the top. Maybe a bag, maybe a half a bag. It depends if it's a 1 cubic foot or 2 cubic foot. Now I still have to water this. There's earthworms everywhere because it was in the soil I was moving, see? And they're kind of in shock right now. Like, oh, we've been moved. So we want to make sure they don't stay on top. But it's pretty much ready to plant in here. Now I'm going to put 2 systems in here. I'm going to really pack a lot of stuff in here because the way I plant. Let me show you this. I didn't even make a dent in here. And it's hard work to get it out of here. Notice when I grabbed some of the containers that had soil already that was broken down because it had something growing in it. Like this one, I should redo that one. I should grab that and tip it in there. It's so much easier to work with smaller containers. And let me tell you something, you can grow a ton of stuff in small containers. You don't need something this big. So there it is, almost ready to plant. So let me tell you what else happened. I wandered around the yard and I've got some buckets around of kitchen scraps, eggs and stuff, and I hadn't done anything with it, so I decided to dump that on top. And I figured, you know what? Just load the whole thing up. Now I'm still going to add some more soil. Well, you'll see what I'm going to do. We're not quite ready, but we're getting there. I would say it's ready. I went around, I had buckets around with some decomposing kitchen scraps because I wasn't sure where to put it. And now it's ready. I'm going to top this with some soil from another container on the other side of the yard. And then I'll decide if I'm going to put 1 bag of potting soil in, which I think I might, and then get my plants growing. So I'm back to shoveling. This tote's not that big. I think it's about a 30-gallon. It was sitting on the other side of the yard in the bird garden, and I hadn't grown in this corner yet either. But I've got plans for this tote. So I figured I might as well get everything out of there and put that on top. Because remember, when you use a lot of leaves, your containers do collapse. Now, I've seen people stomping and jumping and doing all kinds of stuff when they load up their giant containers. I don't want to pack it down and crush my critters. I want everything to be alive, and I want air in there. I don't care if it collapses. It doesn't really matter, because you can always add soil later. After all, Mother Nature's not crushing it down. It just falls from the trees. The nutrition's in there, whether you force it down by leaping up and down on it or just letting nature do its thing. So I just do it this way. And you know what? This works for me. So you're not going to find me jumping on there like smashing grapes for wine or something. But look at all the earthworms in there. I will tell you, had I not done this and went ahead and bought store-bought potting soil, this could cost me hundreds, just like so many of you told me it cost you. Okay, I've emptied out the other tote where I was getting the soil from. And now everything is in here, and there is no potting soil yet. But what I'm going to do, because there's a lot of earthworms in here and everybody's been disturbed, I'm not going to plant in it yet, and I'm still not sure if I'm adding potting soil, but I'm going to take a lot of these pots that are laying around, and I did water this already. I'm just going to lay them on top for now. Doesn't matter what kind of pots they are. I can use my bucket. Let me make sure everything is out of the bucket. Yeah, good enough. Yeah, let's see if there's any more. What is she doing? Why is she putting containers on top? What it's going to do is going to give them shelter a little bit right now and give them a chance, because it's so sunny all of a sudden today. I think that's pretty good. I'll just lay the shovel here like that. Okay, now they'll travel down. They'll start to move around and get used to being in here, because there was a lot of earthworms in the other container. Then when I come back, of course, to plant in here, I'll remove a lot of this. And I might be doing very unusual things, but we'll see later. But anyways, I am done for right now. And the wheelbarrow was a big help. Now I'm going to stall for a couple days on growing in here, because I thought of something and I saw something I wanted. It's not that expensive. It costs about $4 or $5, but I think it's going to be a big help in here for me to grow. And I think I'll be able to put it around this container, and I'll be able to use stakes. Well, you'll see if all works out. If it doesn't work out, I'll tell you too. So now I'm getting really close, but I'm excited. I love that soil. I haven't put any soil in there yet. I'm still debating if I'm going to put anything. Gary never uses any bag soil. I'm the one that uses a cup or two, or sometimes I put an inch or two on top. Once in a while, sometimes I don't. So we'll see when I'm going to plant. I'm getting really close. I already have the plants. I bought them at the nursery, those poor secondhand plants that were half price, but they're looking, well, they're looking sad, screaming, plant me. So let's get this thing planted in the next couple days, and then I can move all these pots out and get them going. I think this is going to be fantastic. Look how beautiful that is. All nature soil. You can't beat that. Free. And with no holes on the bottom, I won't have roots, and I won't have gophers or moles getting into my plants. It will all belong to me. So this morning my tomato plant was beautiful. I put a cage around it yesterday, and I can see that the dirt's been pushed up there, and a gopher just came and ate my tomato plant. Let me see if there's roots. Nope, he ate the whole bottom. Look at that. This plant was doing so good, and they ate the whole bottom. See where they chomped it on the bottom? This is why. It could be a mole or a gopher. But something tried to come up that way, and then it came up there. The soil is loose. I could try to put this in water and regrow this, trim the leaves off. I'm not sure if I will, but this is why I have to container garden. This is a mole. Why? Because I just walked through here now. And this is concaving. See how it's going down? Look at this. See how This should not happen. It's probably under here. They are very close to the surface. See? This shouldn't be this way. He's gone this way. He's probably long gone. Look at that. See how everything just moves? You can see the hump here, right here. So, oh yeah, see how he's gone through here? Yeah, it was probably a mole. He might be under here. Because they go under containers. See the mountain of soil there? And they look for insects. They also eat roots. So I can see that he's come across here because I haven't done any digging. And who knows where he is by now. But see all the soil that's gotten moved? This is not gopher. That's probably a mole. Okay, he's the one that ate my tomato plant. That was right here. How sad. I was going to put a basket over it. This tomato cage that somebody threw out in the trash. Gary found it. And I was going to let it grow. And I'll tell you what happened to it. Let's walk over here. I still haven't done anything, but I stuck it in here. This is too funny. Remember I showed you the other day it had no roots? Well, guess what? You can root a tomato. I stuck it over here because they chewed the bottom. See how the bottom's all chewed up? See if you can see that. But look at this. It sat in here for just 2 days while I was working on that. And now, boy, it's so determined. I'm going to have to find the bucket and stick it in there. I mean, what are you going to do? It's a determined plant. Very much does this thing want to grow. That is utterly amazing. It will grow roots all the way up to here. You can see the bumps. And that's where the roots will grow too. So if I stick the whole thing in water. But I just dropped it there instead of throwing it out or composting it, I should say. So I guess I'll get it planted in a pot. And maybe you'll see it sitting next to my trough. So let's see what's going to happen with Tommy the tomato in the next few weeks. I'll keep you posted. With that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. Oh boy, now I gotta get you planted.